Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter where in the world you are joining us from. You have reached the bus station. This is Busted Out, and I'm one half of the Brunch Busters, Bobby Munson. The other half, unfortunately, Chris Parrish, not with us here today. We will talk a little bit on that in just a moment here, but thankfully, I have got a good friend of mine joining us. He is the co-host of Taking Over, and currently in the lead on Wrestle Draft, at least for the time being, but was
not anymore.
Not anymore, but you were heading that direction. There was definitely a build come in, and I'm sure that it will go off again when the time is right. But we'll talk about that. But Ed's joining me today. Ed, how are you doing?
That's me. Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's good to hear.
Got a busy week coming up.
Very busy week. Oh, it's good. No harm in a busy week sometimes. As they say, idle hands are the devil's playpen.
They are indeed.
I'm just going to take the moment to put that up on screen. That is all the areas that you can find OLE podcasts, whether it's on Twitch, on YouTube, over on, I think we even got Kick listed up there, and every single one of the socials, every one you can imagine under the sun, We're on there. Find us, like, follow, subscribe, all those wonderful things that you can do to help out OLE Podcast. And keep in mind, it is still September over on the Twitch side. So subs are a discounted price right now, and we'd always love you for giving us a sub. But aside from that, let's get the other housekeeping out of the way so we can get to the other stuff afterwards. Right there, it's our good friends over at Rogue Energy, rogueenergy.com, where you can use that promo code OLE Pods, or where Ed's pointing to, that QR code in the corner of your screen will take you directly to that site. Use OLE Pods for 10% off your order. And Rogue Energy are an alternative to the energy drinks you'll find in your store. This is a great flavored, zero sugar, vegan friendly alternative that you can find. It's a powder mix, cans if you're in the States, that you can get and be able to have kind of a refreshing, revitalizing experience from our friends over at Rogue Energy. You know what? Tickers are good. Let's leave the OLE ticker on there for you guys all day today. I'm kind of waiting a minute, Ed, here. I want to make sure that people getting the show here and getting the stream and start getting that chat active before we really kind of kick off and talk a little bit about the temporary changes. But how's your week been in general? I know that you had taken over, followed by an impromptu. Was it Friday or was that Thursday? It was Thursday that you and Astrid went on to talk about the WWE releases. Was it not?
Yeah, it's been a week. Taking over was great. We were getting ready to head into the final charge for No Mercy. We're looking forward to a 5-match card we got right now. We're expecting a 6th match. And then Thursday happened, and all hell broke loose in WWE, where they decided to release a ton of people, including currently NXT's #1 contender for the North American Championship, Mustafa Ali, got released. And it's thrown a monkey wrench into that. Hundreds of, not hundreds of people, but a great many 20 or so wrestlers lost their jobs, and it's never fun. And we like taking pokes at fun at Aaliyah, and we like taking our pokes and fun at Dana Brooke, but you never want to see someone really lose their job. No. Like, that's not what we want. We wanted Dana Brooke to get better. Yes, we poked fun at her. Yes, we criticized her in-ring work. This is kind of what we have to do. But, it was never like, I want Dana Brooke released. That's not the mindset we ever went in with. Sure. So it hurt to see Aaliyah and Dana Brooke, especially because I made an Aaliyah joke literally the day or two before about, I'm surprised she still had her job. I'm surprised that she's never been released. Like, because we really went through it. We're like, all these releases have come, and somehow this girl who's been here that's had no character since the days of Sasha Banks and Bayley running NXT in the WrestleMania 30, right when they launched the WWE Network. The first big show that they did was the NXT behind the scenes show, Breaking Ground. Aaliyah was on that show. Yep. Mind you, that's WrestleMania 30. We're getting ready to go into WrestleMania 40. And somehow she's still here. Or was until this week.
Fighting underdog that you never thought.
She really was. She's a fighting underdog that nobody wanted to see on television. And even they didn't. Like, there was a running joke on another platform that I stole that they would take Aaliyah and put her in the closet. And eventually they'd be like, oh, we haven't seen... Oh, open up the closet. Oh, there's a perfectly good Aaliyah. Let's dust her off and put her back in the room, have a few matches, and then put her back in the closet.
For sure. Just going to pause on that topic, though, for a moment and say good morning to everybody in the chat, including your co-host and friend on Taking Over there, as well as my co-host on such shows as Killer Cuts. It's Astrid Pizarro joining us this morning. And then again, another one of the OLE faithfuls here, one of the co-hosts of Fair and Mindful. You can also catch her talking all things Japan wrestling with Andre C. That is Melball Collins. Good morning, Melball. And then we got my brother from another mother, only a few blocks down, and my BW partner in crime last night, Bass, are joining us in the house. And of course, I'm sure Little Bass is all sorts of kind of crazy after seeing his first wrestling show with us last night. He had a blast.
You'll have to talk to us about that in a little while.
Oh, we will for sure. And McWiggin, how are you doing, my man? This is the best way. Thank goodness Ali is free, so underused. And morning, lads. How are you doing? That is a wonderful human being that just made a wonderful new banner for Prairie Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. So if you're on Prairie Pro's the YouTube channel and you see the nice YouTube banner on there, we can thank Mick Wigan for his fantastic work there, and just wonderful human being as well too. So glad you're here joining us today. Gonna get this portion out of the way here, Ed, so that we can get back to talking about some wrestling. But of course, as everyone is either seen online with the post this morning, or can tell that Parrish not with me on screen here today, Chris Parrish has made a temporary decision to step away from doing some streaming. Again, life gets in the way. Everybody's messaging, they're concerned, they're worried, everything like that. And there's nothing to be concerned about. Please don't anybody take any concern from this. We all have personal lives. No matter how much we come on here and stream and, spend time with you guys, we all have lives. And sometimes we just need time to take care of life. And so, again, this is a temporary thing. We wish Parrish all the best with getting all the things he needs to get done. And that seat is right there for him when he's nice and ready. Whether it be here on Busting Out, on Wednesdays on Wrestle Draft, Monday Night Raw Watch Along, whatever other shows Parrish is a part of, they're always there with Parrish's name on them, because we love Parrish and we want him back. So again, he will be back. Don't worry about that. He's coming back. This is temporary. So for now, as far as Busting Out goes, I'll take the helm. I'm going to have Ed or whoever wants to join me on Sundays here, just hanging out, talking wrestling. In a couple of weeks, I do know there is a Sunday coming up that I'm unavailable, but I will do my best to make sure that we've got a couple of guest hosts here for you that day to, do a Sunday fill-in show, and we'll go from there. This is all nothing negative, all positive. Parrish, we love you, and that seat's right there for you as soon as you're ready for it, my brother. I had a great time making that banner. Just glad I liked enough to use it. Man, it's fantastic. I thought it was awesome. So phenomenal. So thankful that you did that. It's a lot being on cam all the time. I hope he comes back even strong. We all do. It's doing all this kind of work. People take it for granted that, everybody's got shoot jobs, everybody's got life and stuff like that. And sometimes you just got to take care of business. And that's what it comes down to. And Parrish will take care of that business, and then he's going to come right back here bigger, better than ever. And he's going to wow you guys with what he brings to the table next. I'm sure of that.
Oh, absolutely. 1,000%.
But we'll go back to the layoffs we were talking about here. And again, not wanting anybody to lose their job. The nice thing about it is they might lose their job for now, but I'm pretty confident that most of these people, shall they choose to stay in professional wrestling, will find their way, because there's a lot of options out there, whether it's getting on a Tony Khan's payroll, whether it's heading on over to Japan, whether it's going to Impact Wrestling, who are thriving and doing well themselves, or even MLW, who's making a strong push as of late now too for live shows and bringing in name talent. There's a lot of options out there. Or as Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander both said on social media over the weekend, look, it only can be bad if you make it bad, or you can make it into a success. Like the two of them have done so well for themselves out in the independent scene and recreated themselves entirely. So this could be a great thing for just about everybody who got released. It might be a temporary bad, but might be a better thing in the long run for each every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's, it sucks to lose your job. We've all been there, in the point where we lost our job where we didn't expect it. And that can suck. But there are so many, like you said, talented people. There are so many places to work. And also, think of the names lately that have left WWE and made themselves bigger and more important. You mentioned it, Steph DeLander. You mentioned Matt Cardona. Mm-hmm. What about Cody Rhodes? Yeah. Drew McIntyre? Yeah. Like, these are guys who left the company and came back bigger, better stars for taking time off and making their way on the indies and making their way in other companies, whether it be a stop and Impact for both Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, whether it be going ahead and running the indies, being on Bullet Club for Cody Rhodes, whether it be Drew McIntyre taking the American indie scene by storm, and the UK indie scene by storm. Will all of these talent find luck like that? No, of course not. It's never the situation. Hopefully, a lot of these people will land on their feet. A lot of these people are talented, and we took Dana Brooke and we broke down the Dana Brooke one on Taking Over, where Dana Brooke has a multitude of sponsorship opportunities that she's been doing since being in WWE. She was a fitness model before she came here. There are fantastic things that she's going to be able to take advantage of now that she's not in WWE, that she can go ahead and continue in a marketing scene where she can go ahead and continue marketing different products to people. She has a fan base on social media. She is an influencer that can continue to do things like that, a la Eva Marie. Like, just because you're not talented enough to stick around in the ring for the company for whatever reason doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And of course, Dolph Ziggler, if he wants one, he's got a job pretty much anywhere. Mustafa Ali, creatively, is one of the most creative minds right now in professional wrestling. And you saw that with his social media version of his character. There's a way that he can make this work. Over the last few days, we've seen Masse and Mansoor on Twitch streams. Yep. And they've been breaking down things that they did when they were off WWE time, and they were doing different things on character, and they've been breaking down their time in WWE and the things that they were part of and what could have been and what might have been, including having Maxine Dupree having potentially been Tiffany Stratton, or as they were really worried about, Max Dupree in a dress.
Oh my.
And if you haven't seen that part of their Twitch stream, definitely go check out the great Black Otaku. He is a fantastic man. I love Mace a whole bunch. He was, and they broke down the other day. They broke down Retribution. They've broken down the Maximum Male Models. They're doing all kinds of great work. Go ahead and support them. Support all of these people should they be on Twitch or something like that. Go buy a t-shirt if they have a store on Pro Wrestling Tees. That's the way you can help support your favorite wrestlers when things like this happen, is if t-shirt shops pop up, go ahead and buy a t-shirt. Do different things. Find a way to support them and follow their social medias to see what they're up to and in what ways you can support your favorite wrestlers in whatever venture they take next.
For sure. Melball's comment here, sorry. I'd like to see Dana and Aaliyah consider valet work. They have charisma, just not good in ring. Still let them be involved, but in a capacity that makes them useful and entertaining. And that, I understand and respect 100%. The thing is too, with Dana and Aaliyah both, and some people who get released from the WWE, is they've only ever known the WWE system. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where they kind of get lost, because it's great to learn in the WWE system how to be on television, how to work larger crowds and stuff like that. But they never got the feel for working an independent crowd, what to do when you only have 10 people there clapping for you and stuff like that, how to really work and manipulate your in-ring and stuff to accommodate your settings. And they've never had that opportunity. So it could be an awakening that both need, if they really truly care about continuing in the business, is to take that and use that in the independents to learn more, adapt more, and maybe their in-ring will pick up from there. Maybe not, and maybe valet works what they want, or maybe, again, like Ed was saying in Dana's case, like she had great things going before WWE anyway. Like there's opportunities that lie before her that might not be involved with wrestling in general. Whatever path they take, I only ever wish everybody good luck with their ventures. So I hope that they do right. But, that MLW door is always open. And I'm sure that many of these people would do very well for themselves in an MLW setting, because MLW, especially on the featherweight division, it's really only starting to just slightly ramp up a little bit, and people are taking notice. And I think that there would be great opportunity, especially these being women that have worked in that WWE capacity. Their name carries some weight to it, especially when going to a place like an MLW. And despite what people might have thought about them there, people in MLW and who watch MLW have a really different bird's eye view of how things go and what they like and what they don't like and stuff like that. This is the same audience that first had to be accepting of Real One making his way back to a professional wrestling ring and accepted it. Like there was a few naysayers, but in general, most accepted Real One in an MLW ring, and myself and Papa Smokes included. We were on board with it. Yeah. I mean, he's a loudmouth, arrogant prick, and that's exactly what you need sometimes.
You just sometimes you make that work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a litany list. I mean, the one that really hurts, and people are going to say, "Oh, it hurts to see Ali, with such a push to get let go in the middle of the push," and Dolph Ziggler, 19, 20 years in the company and seeing it end like this. I mean, yeah, those kind of suck, but it's fine. They've had some of their moments and things like that. The one that really hurts for me is Emma. She's on the way to, having the wedding of her dreams. Her and her fiance, soon to be husband, both get let go on the same day. He apparently finds out on social media from Sean Ross Sapp. If you believe the Twitter exchange on social media, he found out that way.
Wouch.
Which could be tongue in cheek. It could not be. But the Emma situation sucks because on that same day, WWE announced that they're taking Elimination Chamber to Australia.
I saw that. That's what a kick in the shorts that one was.
Yeah. So they're taking it to Perth, and she's like, "It's been a dream of mine. I'm so excited for this to happen." Within an hour of that being posted, that she posted that, she gets let go. And she's like, "Never mind."
Just ouch. And that's just it. Like, it was a great opportunity to finally have something like that, a premium live event, especially a themed premium live event in Australia. That announcement alone is worth its weight in talking about, because Australia is a very interesting market. Like, a lot of people have seen a lot of stars come out of the Australian scene. I used to do writing about Australia's independent scene, so I got familiar with a lot of these people before they came over to AEW, WWE, New Japan, all this kind of stuff. So I'm glad that market's thriving, and I'm glad people are paying attention to it. And there's still great opportunity with some of the wrestlers that are out there on the Australian scene that haven't made their way to North America quite as much yet. So it's great, but at the same time, what a kick in the teeth there to someone who was really excited about it, that now is not going to get to participate unless she wants to buy a ticket and go watch in the stands, which somehow after that, I have my doubts that that's.
I mean, she might get comp tickets from somebody in the company.
Possibly.
She might not
So is this going to be the night, like when it comes to Elimination Chamber, is this going to be the night of everything Rhea on the women's side and everything Grayson Waller on the men's side?
I think it's going to be, my guess would be that we're seeing Rhea Ripley in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I think we're getting Rhea Ripley main eventing this show in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I'd also expect to see a nice heavy dose of Grayson Waller.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, it's not just Grayson Waller and Rhea Ripley. We've also got Indy Hartwell.
Yeah.
Who could be making a big appearance there. I wouldn't be surprised to see her and Candice challenging for the women's tag team titles, if not both of them in the Elimination Chamber themselves. There's a multitude of wonderful, talented people from that area of the world that could be in there. We could see stars brought up from there between now and February. There's plenty of time to start booking other stars on top of all the people we already have at the top of the card. I mean, we could have an Elimination Chamber match for the chance to challenge Roman Reigns that could feature the likes of Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, Jey Uso. Like, there's a multitude of people who have the ability to be in some big matches at this show. Also, let's just talk about it here. This show is going to be happening live and in prime time in Australia, which means those of us in the States and Canada are getting this show at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means Bobby's ass has to get up at 4 a.m. for this show.
Hold on, when's the show? Because it might only be 5 a.m. at that point.
It's Saturday, February. It's late February, I believe.
Perfect. That means 5 a.m. my time. Or no, hold on. Yeah, no, 5 a.m. because we're 2-hour difference right now.
It will be February 24th, yeah.
Because remember, I've mentioned it before, Saskatchewan is the land that time forgot, so we don't switch our clocks here. So when you guys do that switching over, I'm only an hour difference, so that is perfect. Thank God for PVRs. No, early morning. That's what this stuff is for right here. You just get yourself a good old bucket of Timmy's, sit on down, and watch an early morning wrestling show.
No, Mel Ball Collins, the queen of watching wrestling in inconvenient times. Yes.
Yeah.
All those New Japan shows
I'm
that
not worried.
start at like 1 a.m. and don't finish till 6 a.m. But
And
no,
it's on a Saturday, isn't it? Because if so, that's like I'm used to getting up that time to watch Manchester United, so I'm good. I might have to have dual screens going that day.
think about how great this is going to be. We're going to be getting ready to have, instead of having nachos and chicken wings for wrestling, we're going to be sitting there eating waffles and chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, pancakes, sausage bites. Like,
yeah.
Dude, do you know how excited I am for the food of this show?
It's going to be great.
Astrid,
it's good morning.
Astrid, you and I are doing the post show for this. 10 a.m. post show.
Bacon
it's
and
gonna
eggs.
Be awesome. Yeah. Dude, our Saturday will be full. We can do the post show and then still have a full Saturday to do whatever the hell we want.
It's amazing. And for those
going, I can't wake up that early. Dude, wake up early. Watch the wrestling show. Go back to bed and take a nap.
You got this, Astrid. You'll be awake.
Astrid, it's fun.
We'll make it even more fun. Hey, Mel Ball, do you want to watch the show in behind the scenes on stream with us all that morning and have one of those
just put it on the air
fun times of getting way too intoxicated while watching a wrestling show, because that was a blast.
I mean, it's I remember All In. It was All In that we watched.
No, that was Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door. No, that was what you guys watched. I think it was me.
Only if you get chicken and waffles. Well, I think that could be arranged. I'm sure chicken and waffles have got to be.
Can you just
everywhere.
imagine the beer? Can you just imagine the beercade watch along of this? Beercade has to open. Like, they don't even close; they just stay open all night.
That's right.
Like, why bother closing at that rate?
Well, we have a place in Saskatoon called Bartari that's one of the sponsors of Prairie Pro Wrestling, and so they show a lot of pay-per-views over there. And a lot of the time when there's like New Japan or something like that takes place early morning or overnight kind of thing, they'll be closed. Screw parking.
It's the only bar I know out there, Mel. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So these guys will be closed publicly, but what they do is kind of like a wrestling fan invite. So like the diehards that hang out together and stuff like that, they kind of get a group together and they all go down there, but it's kind of like as if the owner is saying hello to his friends and saying, come hang out and watch it on my TV. Kind of
my massive flat screen, like 70-inch TV. No, it's
not so much. Probably more just that he's got like 1,000 different TVs around the bar.
That's
fine. Because this place is cool. Like, not only do they show the wrestling pay-per-views, but they actually have every video game system you can think of at every table in the bar. And you go in there, and I think you just pay like a $5 fee, and you can go play whatever games you want while sitting at your table and having drinks and all that.
That's a streaming opportunity we got to take advantage of.
It's a fun place. I better get an Uber Eats order of French toast from Cracker Barrel to be awake that early.
You know what, Astrid? Take this opportunity to fly up to Boston. And I'll go ahead and make you French toast.
Ship it up to Boston that day.
Just ship up to Boston.
There you go.
But no, I'm super excited. I'm super excited for shows like this. Like, one of my favorite thing about the Blood Money Saudi shows is that these things take place at like 1:00 in the afternoon.
Me too.
And they're done and over with, and I can just like go on with my day after they're done. Like having Money in the Bank in England this year was so great. Because the show's over and done with. And I'm like, great, cool. 1:00, I'm done.
Yep.
And I just get to do my thing. Like, I'm living for these foreign shows that do this. Do I want them all the time? No, but I'm super excited to have this.
Yeah, Astrid saying happy for Australian fans, though it's nice to see international shows happening often. And 100%. And happen all the time. I think in North America, we've been spoiled to death with having these companies existing here, traveling through here and doing these shows. And I'll even say, like, I mean, I might not get any big shows in my particular area. Like Dynamite was the first televised event we ever had here, but we do get them through for house shows. We get, like, I'm in close enough proximity to Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, that if I want to go to something, it's within quick travel distance for me to ever go to these types of things. And I've been to a Backlash and stuff like this. So again, you can really take it for granted the access that we have to this that other countries don't. And it's nice to see that they're finally getting these opportunities. Plus, the audiences are that much more into it because they don't get it.
Yeah. Like Ashton and Chris Betts both say, I still think about the fans from Puerto Rico and their reactions to the night.
Yeah.
And Chris Betts saying, what I love about overseas shows is the different venues and the different crowds. Absolutely.
Exactly.
This is going to be great for them to be able to have a show. Grayson Waller is so excited to be able to go back home. And I'm hope. Here's my hope. I hope Grayson Waller is in the U.S. title match at that night. And honestly, I say put it on him. I think the match that I would put on for Grayson Waller on that night is LA Knight versus Grayson Waller. And I say you put the U.S. title on Grayson Waller that night.
Yeah, we have.
Emma, that's what started this whole conversation, Chris. Emma was excited.
I'll let you take that one. There we go.
Emma was very excited, which is what started this whole conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the releases go, it's just, it's a lot of people getting some sucky news that could be the best thing of their lives.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm expecting Mustafa Ali to be an even bigger star coming out of this than he went into it. I expect Dolph Ziggler, should he want to continue in professional wrestling, to have his pick of the litter of where he wants to go and do them all if he wants to. But I have a feeling he's probably going to stay more to the comedy side of things, because I know he's been dying to have more time for TV, movies, and comedies and stuff like that. Ashton saying, especially when they haven't had an event there in a while, the crowds appreciate it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I wonder if WWE would consider the idea of bringing any potential stars back that are from Australia, even if just for that night or maybe indefinitely, because we do know that there's the Iconics out there that would be a massive hit going back to their home country, or Steph DeLander for that matter. How much should they shell out for Steph DeLander, who has gone and conquered the independent scene right now, is probably one of the most talked about independent workers at the moment. Anyone who doesn't snap up Steph DeLander is missing an opportunity. I thought they missed the opportunity letting her go in the first damn place personally, but that's hearsay. You know what? I think that they didn't realize what they had on their hands and they weren't ready.
I was just saying, having been somebody who watched WWE's Persia Parada on a weekly basis, I didn't feel like when she got released that they were dropping the ball. Having seen her in what she's capable of with Matt Cardona, in 50-50 hindsight, it's easy to say she dropped the ball. That she dropped the ball. That they dropped the ball on her for not being able to promote her the way that she needed to. But I don't think that Persia Parada being released, in my mind, was the biggest mistake. I think it was a weird thing to do because you thought that there was a lot you could do with her. But I don't... she might come back, as she's always said. If the bag is right, she'll be there.
Yeah.
You live by that Matt Cardona thing. If you pay me enough, I'll show up anywhere. Yep. And Lord knows, WWE, when needing, can pay out what they want, especially when you write off all this money off the books. And in November, you're getting a brand new $287 billion TV deal from USA to come bring SmackDown to USA for the first time.
And then watch the bragging, like, look, our numbers are up. TKO stocks are through the roof.
Oh, no, TKO stocks are through the fucking floor. I'm a big follower. If anybody wants to know about the ins and outs of money in wrestling, you need to follow, 100% need to follow, is two people. And they're tied together. It's Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. That man is the numbers guy of all guys. He doesn't care about the ins and outs of the in-ring action. He doesn't give a shit. It's all about the numbers. He breaks down the quarter numbers for every wrestling show. He breaks down the ratings for every wrestling show. He goes back an entire year with the ratings so that you know what you're talking about in the terms of a bigger sample size. It's not just week by week. It's month on end, week on end. So if you want to know things like that, if those things excite you, Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics is an absolute must follow on Twitter. Absolutely fantastic.
I'll have to check them out. I know I've heard the name. I've heard the company as well too, because a lot of different podcasters reference when they're talking about the ratings, the numbers, and stuff like that. That is their go-to. for the actual facts on it too. So I mean that says a lot right there.
It's facts and it's numbers as opposed to opinion based on the things. Like he'll break down the entire episode of Dynamite. I use Dynamite because that's the one that I always look at to see the quarter hours for, because I'm always curious about how their ratings break down. And he breaks down, this is what was going on in this 15-minute segment. Yeah. And he'll show the graph that goes up, goes down, and whatnot to show you this is what was drawing. This is when people turned off. And you can use that to find out what's going on the other channels and things like that to figure out exactly what's going on. I adore his work. So...
Doesn't he also, because I know a lot of people reference this as they'll break down what was airing prior to the show coming on so that you kind of know if there's like a ramp and a sudden dip kind of thing. Like if the numbers are up here right off the hop and then a sudden like massive dip, a lot of that just happens to be people who had not changed the channel just yet. And then all of a sudden they do change the channel because wrestling's not their thing. And all of a sudden, boom, you've got this massive dip, but at least you know. Hey, McGuigan, have a great day. Glad you were able to join us on stream today. Thank you very much for showing up. And no matter what, if I don't talk to you before then, I will see you on October 21st at Prairie Pro Wrestling.
They do a bunch of, like, the stuff that we see on Twitter is only a handful of the things. They have a Patreon that goes super deep into all that stuff. So that might be Patreon exclusive stuff that I don't see. But they do reference the things that happened before. They reference the things that happen after. They have the fast nationals, and they can tell you when football is preempting it in certain locations, which throws off the ratings in certain places. They have all kinds of information like that. Like I said, if that's your thing, if numbers in wrestling is your thing, and ratings don't matter as much as they used to. But if you want to break down the ratings to see what it means in what the people behind the scenes are looking at for the ratings and what it might mean for Tony Khan when he sees that a segment's not doing well, this is the type of thing that you need to look at. So shout out to them. Hopefully we can get Brandon Thurston on one of our shows someday.
Yeah, and again, when he's doing it, he's not doing it to be harmful to these shows. He's trying to, give them an opportunity to have some insight, and that insight helps you grow. Because if you look at it and you adapt to it, then you can grow and try to work around it and make things better. I've often wondered what the numbers are for Raw in Canada.
I'm sure if you reach out to him on Twitter and you tag him and be like, hey, Brandon, what are the numbers? I'm sure he can get a hold of those numbers for you. I'm sure he knows where and how you could find them and all kinds of things like that.
Yeah. And again, like Raw in Canada, if I know it's like an all WWE in Canada, again, I don't have traditional TV. So Chris, y'all have to help me out on this. Does it not all kind of end up like we're on the same thing? Like it's all under Sportsnet, or is it under, like, do you guys get it on TV? Like I thought it was under Sportsnet now I know SmackDown definitely is, but I can't remember about Raw and NXT if they're on the TSN side and if that makes a difference. Because Raw, I mean, forever and ever and ever was on TSN. It's all under
Sportsnet.
Oh, Sportsnet. Yeah. Okay. Sportsnet. Yeah. There we go. So, and we got JJ coming in the house. What's up, friends? Sorry for the lateness. Never be sorry for anything there, JJ. Showing up in general is awesome. And again, I want to reiterate that Josh Joseph, the voice right there, is going to be joining myself and Papa Smokes this Thursday night on Ring Respect Radio, #RRR. So be tuned into that. And also go and follow everybody in the chat. Reach out to one another, get to network and get to know one another and support each other as well, too. That's that. I want to talk a little bit about some independent wrestling. Again, I was at a show last night there, Ed. Yeah. But before I do that, we still got stuff coming up on the calendar here for this week. I want to show people that. Just keeping in mind, the calendar was made prior to everything going down. So it does mention that Wrestle Draft's on Wednesday, but I think Wrestle Draft's on hold just temporarily.
There might still be leave that spot open. There might still be something Wrestle Draft-y come Wednesday.
All right, so we might have something to fill the void temporarily anyway. So that's good. All right. Anyway, here comes the calendar. We'll be back with you in a moment. Yes, and that's what we got coming up for you this week. And during that
We got a
time,
couple of things that didn't make the calendar. I just want to go ahead and throw out
sorry,
there.
maybe I was off my
It's
game
fine,
this
it's
week.
fine. This either Friday night after SmackDown or around noontime on Saturday. We're still working out a timing with our guest. We are going to have the NXT No Mercy pre-show.
Sorry, I didn't know that was this week.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. That will be taking place this weekend. So either Friday night after SmackDown or Saturday afternoon, we will be going ahead and having that with our guest Caden. And then on Saturday night after No Mercy, Astrid and I will be joined by the one and only Mark Talks Wrestling. Mark plays wrestling,
Awesome.
all that kind of fun stuff. Mark will be joining us to go ahead and talk all things No Mercy.
You're going to have a lot of stats on Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a stat show, that's for sure. Barry Monkey joining up in the house. Monkey business can begin now. Can you repeat everything I've missed, please? Well, Barry, as we said earlier in the show, you see myself and OLED here with you this week. Parrish is taking a temporary time away just to take care of business. He will be back with us when the time is right. So in the meantime and in between time, you got me, you got Ed, and you got whoever else wants to join on Sundays in the interim while Parrish does his thing. But he will be back. Mark is so fun to do shows. Yeah, Mark is fantastic. I know I did the FA Cup watch along there with Mark, and it was just epic. I mean, I didn't know what to expect because I talked to Mark and everything like that, but I hadn't shared a screen with him, and I thought that would be a great opportunity, and it was better than a great opportunity because Mark's very respectful. He talks the whole time. He's got facts. Like, he does his homework. Like, he's sitting there watching this thing and he goes, okay, and that goal for Bruno Fernandez brings up his total for the year to this, and he just starts spitting out the facts. I'm like, thank you, because I didn't bring any of that to the table that day. So Mark is an absolute blessing. I'm happy for you guys having two great guests here coming up this weekend, and
we're trying out. We've done guests for pre-shows, and we normally do our post-show, and occasionally we've had a guest on our post-show. We thought it'd be fun to do that. We're also going to try to start mixing in guests on a random Tuesday every now and then.
Nice.
So, every now and then we might pop you with a special guest on a Tuesday night NXT show too. So
that's good. And just so everyone knows too, we are trying to work out having some more shows covering other wrestling companies as well too, including having more regular AEW review shows and post shows and everything like that coming at you with various people involved there too. That's it's all being worked out. It's on the way, so we're going to try to get that covered. Maybe some more independent stuff. And speaking of independent stuff, I was at an independent show just last night. What's Chris got here? I did Money in the Bank watch along with him, and he, pun intended, marked out hard a lot. Yes, he does. It's wonderful, wonderful listening to him. I can't wait to watch the show Saturday night with Mark there. But speaking of independent, I was at Best Entertainment Wrestling in Warman, Saskatchewan last night with Basser, and Little Bass came to the very first wrestling show of his life. He's only 8 years old, experiencing not only his first independent show, his first wrestling show live, but one that featured cage matches. So they had 3 cage matches at this show last night because nobody wants to set up a cage for just one matchup at an independent
I was going to say,
show.
like, I've worked behind the scenes at an independent show, and I'm not going to call out the company because the guy was an idiot, but, fantastic people. They let me help out. I wasn't part of the crew or anything. I just happened to really want to be part of the business and help out, and I got to help set up the ring. I got to help take down the ring. But one of the cool things that I got to do was they were supposed to have a cage match. But the building that they booked, the fire department told them day of the show, by the way, you don't have enough height to do the cage match that you want to do with us to be able to clear it. So you get no cage match tonight. So they got to go ahead and they went ahead and did, hey, I'm assuming that's Andre. Hello,
it's gotta
Andre.
be Andre. Pardon, Andre.
We already had Mel in here, so I assume it's Andre.
Yeah.
They went ahead and did a barbed wire match instead.
Okay.
It was a barbed wire tables match. The table didn't break like it was supposed to.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was a crap show. But the best part was me and one of the guys that was working the opening match were taking apart the barbed wire after the show. And he's like, no, we got to be real careful. We got to get these gloves on because they wrapped those ring ropes in barbed wire, and it was insane trying to.
So normally when Bass and I go to these shows, like we are the loud, obnoxious fans that you can hear throughout the building. The
Now,
wrestlers.
this is the dry show, right? This is the show that doesn't have the alcohol.
Oh, they have the last two. Actually, they got licensed the last two of them, which I mean, yeah, it's a bundle of fun. But of course, like with Lil Bass being there last night, it wasn't a party night. So we wanted him to experience the fun and get to enjoy a wrestling show without us being belligerent goons. We still were getting involved with the chants and cheering.
Yes, but you just weren't belligerent. You were just
yeah, exactly. So this time, though, we didn't have to be very loud because they had a really fine turnout last night. And the kids there, oh my, were these kids something else. They were more vicious than I see adult fans being towards wrestlers. These kids were right over top of some of these wrestlers, right in their faces, telling them how much they suck. There was this little girl, couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old, and I can't remember who it was that came out. Heel wrestler, big guy comes out, and she goes up to him, it's like, you suck, and he's getting in her face, and she's like, oh, you're gonna cry about it, you're gonna cry about it. She starts wiping the tears away, and I'm like, this is so amazing, so adorable, and good to see a new age of wrestling fans being ushered in and having a great time at a show like that. Like, I was happy to watch them, and even more so watching Little Basser reacting to the wrestling in almost the exact same way that his dad reacts to wrestling when he sees it. There was a moment where a big move happened off the rope, and Basser has the picture, and his son, it's got his hands on his face, leaning backwards. And I swear you could find that exact same picture of Basser reacting when he first started coming to some of the independent shows here in Saskatoon. So it was a marvelous time. I really love independent wrestling. This, even if every match isn't what I normally would like in wrestling, I'm way more forgiving when it comes to an independent wrestling show, just having fun and doing stuff for the audience that they have in the arena.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I'm lucky enough to have grown up in the Boston area where we have a ton of wrestling talent, and I've gotten to see the likes of on the independent scene Carmelo Hayes when he was Christian Casanova. I've gotten to see Mercedes Monet when she was oh god, what was her name on the indies? I don't even remember, but I got to watch her in front of like 25, 30 people in Billerica, Massachusetts. Like, I've been lucky to see a lot of that, but independent wrestling is so worth the money. If you're sick of WWE and you don't want to give them your money to get Peacock or the WWE Network, or you're sick of AEW making you spend $60 every 3 weeks to have a pay-per-view like you've been having lately, where they have another pay-per-view next weekend, I just realized. Oh, really? I did not realize Wrestle Dream is next Sunday.
Oh, man, that's coming up fast.
We just had All In and All Out, and now we have Wrestle Dream in like 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Oh, I was like, I'm thinking you're thinking like even like a week for like on top of having another WWE weekend. I'm like, they're gonna pull that again.
Oh, it also goes again with Fastlane because Fastlane's next Saturday.
Oh my!
I'm almost certain Fastlane is next Saturday, isn't it?
Oh, maybe. I just wow.
I'm just double checking. No, it is the weekend after. I'm sorry. It is October 7th. Yeah. So it's the week after.
Mobile saying Wrestle Dream is pretty stacked.
Is it stacked? Is it stacked?
Well, let's talk
or there
about
are
it for a minute.
Good matches.
We'll have a look in a moment here. Andre saying I'm super lucky to be involved in indie wrestling. It was some of the best times of my life, but there was some crazy shit shows that I was. It happens, man. It really. But again, I always say, and like I know a lot of people because like we at Pro Wrestling, we put our stuff online, and we're putting ourselves out there, and people will criticize. It's going to happen. Oh, you don't have a very big audience. Oh, that looked a little tacky. How could you have intergender wrestling? We get a lot of heat for the intergender stuff and everything. And my answer to it always is look up our geography. We don't have a massive market here, first of all. So us selling out the size of crowd we do at about 300 people is what you're going to do and be able to, draw the money to be able to pay the wrestlers and put on a decent show. Intergender wrestling, we don't have a lot of female wrestlers, and it's hard to ask people to keep driving from all these places with gas prices the way they are. If we had more homegrown talent here in Saskatoon, female talent, we would utilize them. But we do have Taryn from accounting join last time, which was super fortunate, and glad that she's on board now, working with Prairie Pro Wrestling as well too, because I like to see women get their opportunity here, and I wish there was more available at the same time. Chris saying, going to an indie show myself on the 14th. CWE is coming to town with the Mountie. Make sure he always gets his man there, Chris.
And speaking of the stacked card, because we got both Andre and Melball in here talking about how stacked this card is. I've looked it up. You know what? The matches I had seen, apparently I've missed a couple of these matches that are going in here, and it's pretty good. We're going to go ahead and go over it.
Okay.
So, we got a fatal four-way to determine the number one contender for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And you're going to love this, because it's got your favorite wrestler in this match.
Oh, goody.
The Young Bucks, who are now part of the Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions with Adam Page, versus the Guns, versus the Lucha Brothers, versus Hook and Orange Cassidy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
3 of my least favorite wrestlers in the same match. Well, at least I guess they're not individually in separate matches on the card. So they crammed all of it into one so we can get it over with, at least for my sake anyway. I know people like the Bucks and Cassidy, and good on you if that's what you like, but man, just not for me.
And for AEW standard, we can only have one woman match per card, no matter how many matches we have. We have Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart for the TBS Championship. So good on them getting that title onto a main show.
There we go.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston, the Ring of Honor World Champion, is going to be taking on I still can't believe I'm going to say this, Shibata. That's Rory Shibata versus Eddie Kingston for the Ring of Honor World Championship. That's a pretty damn good match.
For the unified Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yeah, I don't understand what unifies it. I don't understand that part. I know Shibata was a champion, so I'm guessing they're unifying whatever title Shibata had with whatever title Eddie Kingston has, would be my best guess. We have the new actual and official TNT champion Christian Cage defending his title in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Darby Allin. We have Chris Jericho. Kingston is defending the ROH world title and his new... okay. Well, why is that called the Unified Ring of Honor World Championship then? That doesn't make sense. Anyways.
I was kind of hoping for Julia instead of Julia, but I can deal with it.
Oh, Shibata's pure title is not on the line. Okay.
Okay.
And that's craziness. I don't know. It's Wikipedia. You get what you get sometimes.
Oh, I miss calling her Julia Gulia.
Yeah, Julia. You know what? WWE. It's only Tony Khan's fault. He heard fans say, "We want Julia. We want Julia." He's like, "Fine, I got a Julia on my roster." Boom, there you go. Title match.
He also heard them saying, "We want Hart. We want Hart," and he didn't realize they meant Brett, and he went and got Julia instead. Yeah. He's like, double whammy. I got both for you.
Speaking of great Canadians, we got a match full of some great Canadians, or not Canadians, depending on your opinion, like Mel's. We've got Chris Jericho joining the Golden Elite of Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega to take on the Don Callis family, which is made up of Kaneshke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay.
Okay. You know, I'm not always an Omega fan per se, but when he's with the right people, I can not mind Kenny's matches. I guess is the best way to put that. Like in this case, like, okay, I haven't loved everything Jericho's done lately, but Jericho and Ospreay at All In was great. Like way better than I was anticipating it to be.
And Jericho's trying to make Sammy Guevara better than he is. And, you know, you take what
Sammy's
you get.
Young. He'll get it eventually. He's young.
Maybe. We've also got, for the AEW Tag Team Championships, we've got Aussie Open taking on FTR, which would be a fantastic match.
Yep, I'm up for that.
Is fantastic.
They are.
in the no way they're going to lose these tag team titles until they face the Kingdom match. We've got Better Than You, Baby versus the Righteous.
Who's the Righteous? Is like
Vincent Marsalia in Dutch.
Okay. Just yeah.
Yep. Like I said, there was another chance for the Kingdom to be able to take these titles from them in a fatal 4-way match on Rampage at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and the Kingdom lost again. So until they face the Kingdom, they're not losing those titles. And in our two big singles matches on the show, we've got Hangman Adam Page taking on Swerve Strickland.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously our main event, the only match on here that I can consider, one of two matches on here that I can consider a dream match on the Wrestle Dream card is Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr.
That's going to be strong.
Which not even I can fuck around with and say is bad in any way, shape, or form.
Well, of course, you got Danielson there. He'll make anybody look good, regardless who's on the opposite side of the ring with him.
But that's the same thing you could say about ZSJ. Like, there's no way Zack Sabre Jr. is going to disappoint either. So
no,
it's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly. So that alone is worth the price of the pay-per-view. But there is some good matchups there for sure.
Hold your horses there. I ain't paying $60 just to see Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson. No.
I'm in the business of trying to put things over for free. I'm always trying to oversell things, right? If you never heard me talk before.
It's the wrestling promoter in you. It's the wrestling broadcast. Really you got to oversell everything. But no, it's a pretty good show. I mean, my thing is, though, like we've talked about this with WWE, how they had too many premium live events.
Yes.
And how they were overloading their fan base and mind you, we were talking about that when they were doing that, when we were paying $10 a month for the WWE Network.
Yep.
AEW is asking their fan base to continuously shell out $50 a show for these shows. And while they're great, you're asking a lot of your fan base. And if you tap them out financially, like there's rumors of a max deal coming for AEW in 2024.
Yeah.
And then there's rumors of them going to 12 big shows a year. Tony's got to learn that if you want 80,000 in your arena, you can't ask them to keep shelling out $50 every 3 weeks.
Not only that, but then of course you got the ticket prices because there's noticing it. This is not me slamming AEW, is that they're coming back to markets that they've been to over and over and over because they keep coming back to the same places, and those ticket numbers are dwindling because everybody's well, they'll be back. So why do I have to go pay $200? And some of the ticket prices are absolutely obscene when it comes to professional wrestling right now.
And that's for professional wrestling as a whole. It's not just AEW.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's look at, Arthur Ashe Stadium. To fill that stadium to the point that they did the other day, they had to do buy one, get one freeze.
Mm-hmm.
In the last week or two of that show, they had to do buy one, get one freeze, and they had to send MJF on a media blitz the day of the show, or the weekend of the weekend before the show, to get tickets moving again because tickets had stalled.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having a hard time filling that arena. And that's the third time they've been here, the third year in a row that they've done AEW Grand Slam. And the numbers have gone down every year for that show.
It's kind of like what I said about when they came here and everything. And like, here is not a very big market to begin with. It never really draws. Even WWE does not draw massive crowds in Saskatoon for any type of show. Despite this being televised and all that, I saw the ticket numbers not selling strongly. And I knew that was going to be the case, especially when they announced Regina, which, for those who don't know, Saskatoon and Regina is legitimately a 2.5 hour drive down a highway, and with very minimal in between. Like there's some small towns in between, but otherwise this is like a highway from one to the other. 2.5 hours later, there you are. So a lot of the times when it comes to concerts and shows that come through our province, it's one or the other. And the reason it is one or the other is because we will travel a couple of hours for an event to either go to Regina or vice versa, Regina to come to Saskatoon. And as soon as they announced that Regina was going to have shows a week before or just days before, it almost divided that audience. Like, oh, now I don't have to travel because I can watch something in my city and vice versa. So I think that didn't help number wise to come through. I know they tried to steer it like, oh, it was, the summertime and people go to the lake. Sure. But at the same time, you put 2 shows on in Saskatchewan. That was your issue right from the get-go. One would have been nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody has that problem where a lot of people go ahead and make that mistake of thinking that they can just go ahead and dump stuff on a card and, oh, we got these places, we can run them all week, days after each other. And not always the case. And sometimes it comes back to bite you in the bum. And AEW's learning, and they'll get there. They'll get there. They'll figure this stuff out. But there are certain things that you got to make sure. It's why WWE doesn't run the same area anymore. Like they used to do, like loops where they would go through and they would run 4 or 5 different towns in the same area. And it's why Raw now jumps from place to place to make sure that you don't, tap out a market too quickly, to make sure that you can keep getting people to come back every time. And AEW will learn that as they go. But for right now, well, like I said, we're looking at a great Wrestle Dream card, and we should continue looking at that. I mean, we talked about the fact that Christian Cage is the champion. We talked about it before the show. What are your thoughts on Christian Cage officially being the TNT champion here?
Yeah, I will. I'll talk about that in a minute. I was just looking at the stats, and I forgot to mention that Basser actually subscribed for a 9th month here on the Twitch side of things. So Basser, thank you. And again, the spin goes your way, brother. Gotta always give a shout out to anybody who does that.
Absolutely.
For us.
Absolutely. Neither one of us have the back end open, which is a problem.
Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm cool with this. As we were mentioning off screen before we went live, I think Christian Cage is very underappreciated. I think Christian Cage is fantastic. And like you said, he's the definition of work smarter, not harder. Christian Cage knows how to do enough to make himself look really good and to make his opponent look good. And he's so good in terms of character development, being on a microphone, being able to sell to an audience. I said it before many times. I personally am a bigger fan of Christian Cage versus Edge myself. And that's not taken away from Edge. But I'm personally, I'm one of the peaks, as we would put it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic that we've got Christian Cage doing all of this, and to have him finally have the championship and be the champion. Because I saw it and I'm like, wait, he actually won? Like, he won the title?
Yeah.
Because I thought he was the champion before the shows where we were doing all of our fun stuff, heading into All In, and I'm like, wait, wait, huh? So it's great to have him have the title for himself.
He sells it well.
He does. He's fantastic. And the shtick he's on right now about people and their fathers is just, if it's working, it's gold. Like it's a touchy one, but if you can make it work, go for it. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. That's right. So very glad for that. Glad we're going to get to see that match with him at next Sunday, defending against RB Allen. I think it'll be a good time as well too. So, but I think we're going to get into the end of the stream here, Ed. So I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to let you people know what you got going on this week as I get your socials up on the screen, and we're getting ready to send our raid out to our friends over at Church of Joshi here this morning.
Yeah, we are. So go ahead and follow me on the X at EdFries12584. I don't need no blue sky. I don't need no threads. I got a nice shirt. It's been rainy the last couple of days. It's fine. You can also catch me on Twitch at EdFries2002 as I do some gaming content. I will have something on Wednesday, regardless of any situations going on. I will be playing some WWE 2K23 My GM mode this Wednesday after Dynamite. So go ahead and make sure that you go ahead and follow me on both here and on my own on my own Twitch, as I'll be simulcasting that on both of them this Wednesday night as I go ahead and play some My GM mode. I think I'm going to go ahead and start a brand new My GM mode save and go ahead and just go through as much of it as I can.
Perfect. That sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, you can also catch me this Tuesday with Astrid Pizarro. And then, like I mentioned before, it's No Mercy weekend. So Friday or Saturday, we will be having our pre-show with Caden. Our post-show with Mark Talks Wrestling will be happening right after NXT No Mercy finishes up. So make sure you catch me right here for both of those shows.
All right, sounds good. And hopefully you can join me next Sunday as well, too, there, Ed, if you're free. you can see down on below, that's where you can find myself. That is the ticker for all my different socials where you can catch me. I will, as scheduled, be on Thursday night with my partner in crime, the man with the angelic voice, Papa Smokes, bringing you Triple R Ring Respect Radio with our special guest at the time, Josh Joseph, the voice. So tune in for that. And of course, I will probably be getting some gaming streaming in there. Been doing some Starfield. Want to get some of that on stream for you guys here very soon. And then, of course, next Sunday, Busting Out returns, and hopefully Ed will be joining me, and we'll see if anybody else is in the market to join us as well, too. We thank you for spending the time with us on this Sunday. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everybody, and we will see you next Sunday. See you guys.